That was awesome. That was amazing. That was fun. That was weird. What the hell was that? Let's find out as we talk about WrestleDream. See you in a second.
Uh-oh.
Yes, boy!
French toast is the exchange student that you have like a 3-week affair with.
We can see that you don't have pants on.
Somebody hit somebody with a pie. Do something.
Giovanni yelling we're out of time as we go off the air.
Giovanni yelling a lot of things tonight.
And welcome to the Mark It Down podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome this Saturday night, Sunday morning, depends on what part of the country you're in. This is the Mark It Down podcast, and we are here to cover WrestleDream. I am James Giasanti, and I am at a loss for words. This was a show. This was a good show. This was a wild show, but wowza, that ending, that finish. Now, guys, if you're wondering why I'm going live at 1 a.m., it's because this show basically didn't end until 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. So I am still recovering. I am still processing. But it was wild. There were some truly incredible matchups. There were some truly memorable moments. And there is some stuff that I don't know that we'll ever be able to forget, for better or for worse. I enjoyed the show a lot. We're going to get into it. We're going to start with everything that we can. We're going to talk about everything that we can. CEO. Mr. Penguin, welcome here. Thank you for showing up. Did you go to New York Comic Con? You got to let me know, man. I miss you, dude. If we could run into each other at these shows, that would always be fun. You guys know the deal. On these shows that I'm by myself, I also have to do social media. It did end late. It was worth it, though. I agree with you. It ended very late, but it was super worth it. And you could tell they were a little rushed there at the end. But what a show, right? But as I said, you guys know when it's just me, I got to do everything. I got to entertain you fine, lovely, amazing people. I've got to talk about the show. I've got to do this, and this, but I also got to deal with social media by myself. So let's just get this out there. Let's be cool. Ooh, I might actually be going to that one too. Let's talk. There's a good chance I might be going. I missed some stuff here at New York Comic Con. Some people that I'm hoping to fill in the gaps at Rhode Island. So that could be fun. Let's talk about it, pal. But yeah, we're going to talk. I don't know what we're going to talk about first. I don't know where we should start, but everything was wild. Everything, to quote a song, everything was awesome. And I really did. I don't think there was a point of the night that I didn't have fun. I don't think there was a point in the night that I didn't enjoy myself. Maybe there were some lowlights that it was like, okay, it's not really keeping up with everything else, but it was still like top to bottom, a really fun show. Let's start at the main event. Let's start with obviously the big thing of the night, this culmination match. This match that we have been building to since, weirdly, pretty much day one of AEW. As we have Darby Allin taking on Jon Moxley in an I Quit match. Guys, I'll be the first to tell you. I'll be the first to tell you before we even talk about a second of this matchup. I'm not typically a big fan of I Quit matches. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. There is a reason. My issue with I Quit matches is that you see so much cool stuff. Amazing, crazy, unbelievable stuff. But then by the time you get to the finish, often you find yourself, or at least I find myself, saying, that's what made him quit. That was the final nail in the coffin. Now, granted, if I go through any of what these fine gentlemen put themselves through and put each other through, I wouldn't make it. I would quite possibly spontaneously combust. But I'm not them. I am not him. I am not them. I wouldn't be able to make it. But I still would like to think to myself that if I went through everything that they went through, that thing that finally makes them do it wouldn't be the thing that I would say, yeah, I'm done. I'm tapping out. Maybe I'm nuts. Maybe I'm maybe I think way too much of myself, but I don't know. I think I'm pretty consistent on that. This match saw everything. This match saw, in no particular order, tasers. This match saw spikes. This match saw tables flying. This match saw drowning. All of that was done to Darby Allin. At one point or another, Moxley or the Death Riders, or a combination of all of them, tased Darby, drove wooden spikes into his fingertips. That is an actual torture technique. He was sent flying by Claudio Castagnoli from one side of the ring all the way running to the other side of the ring through a table that did not break. He then gets paradigm shifted through other tables, and then they stick his head in an aquarium, in a fish tank, a full fish tank, to drown him. What? Ooh. Hey, Dev, how you doing, pal? Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Darby is crazy. We knew this. Somebody who wants to climb Mount Everest is crazy. Somebody who has been lit on fire is crazy. Somebody who drives themselves through glass plates is crazy. But Jesus Christ, there's got to be a limit. Moxley agreed, because after Moxley paradigm shifted, what's up? Hello, Salim. Yes, I agree. AEW rules. And you know what else? You rule. Thank you for being here. Hope you enjoyed the show. I did. After Moxley had done most of those things, the referee is questioning Darby. Is Darby going to quit? And Darby doesn't. Moxley pleads with the referee. He's insane. He's crazy. They don't care about him. You don't care about him. Nobody cares about him, but I care about him. Don't do this. But the match continued, and that's where the drowning commenced. It's at this point that all members of the Death Riders are there. Marina, Claudio, Pac, Yuta, Garcia. They're all surrounding the ring, and it looks like Moxley might actually succeed in killing Darby when the lights go out. The lights go out, and then we are greeted with a welcome, familiar face that we haven't seen in a while. The icon. It's Sting! Sting makes the rescue, bat in hand, takes out every member of the Death Riders, gives Darby the bat, and then literally carries Marina Shafir away out of the arena. It's at this point that Darby is finally able to turn the tables, and after Sting had broken the aquarium with the bat, which terrified me, by the way, that there was just broken glass in the ring. After that, Darby has the bat. He just wallops, takes out Moxley, just continues to beat on him with the bat, grabs the flag, the AEW flag that he vowed to choke out Moxley with, which he had used throughout the matchup. He chokes Mox out one more time, drops him with a Scorpion Death Drop, and then locks in the Scorpion Deathlock. Yep, sharpshooter, straight right in the ring. And that's it. Jon Moxley taps out in the main event of AEW WrestleDream. Now, guys, terrifying stuff to watch. I am man enough to admit when Jon Moxley was shoving the wooden spike into Darby's finger, I yelped. I screamed out, I hate this. And I did. Ooh, awful. But these men went to war. Darby was put through hell. All of those things I mentioned, tasers, spikes, drowning, tables, all of that. And then it was a sharpshooter that puts Moxley out. Now, I will say, and I looked this up a little bit online, I heard what some people had to say. Mox is pretty consistent that when the writing's on the wall and he's sure he's not going to win, he doesn't think he's going to be able to get out of it, he taps pretty quickly to save himself a beatdown. He tapped relatively quickly against Hangman in both of their Texas death matches, and he did it again here. I guess it makes sense. I guess it's something that's consistent, but a little rough. A little rough after everything we had seen for me to then say, this is the thing. This is what's going to stop him. Now, mind you, I'm going to take off my Mark hat for a second, and I'm going to put my Smart hat on. They were quickly approaching that 12:30 time, and probably they needed to be off pay-per-view by 12:30. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they kind of rushed that ending a little bit. But what can you do? All in all, it was a wildly entertaining match, a wildly death-defying match. And I know it's not going to be for everyone. And you know what? The guys who don't like this main event, you're right for not liking it. It's a certain style of wrestling. It's not for everybody. But the people who did like it, people like myself, people like other stickos, this delivered on a lot of fronts, even if the finish was a little rushed. So bravo to Darby Allin, who is now 1-5 against Jon Moxley, finally getting his first win over the ace of AEW. Great showing. Seeing him celebrating with the AEW flag in hands, arms stretched. It was a beautiful moment. Something that he's been working towards since the beginning of his run in AEW. So very proud of Darby. Like I said on Wednesday when we covered Dynamite, I've been watching these guys feud since pre-AEW. I've seen these guys wrestle on the indies, and John always came out on top. So a huge moment for Darby. Very happy for him. And let's see where he goes from here. Mox and the Death Riders, they're like cockroaches. They don't go away. Darby, realistically, the next step is the AEW World Championship as far as I'm concerned. But interesting with everything else that happened on the show. But we'll talk about it. We'll get through it. Let's get to some comments, though, real quick. Salim, Salim said he would have liked to have seen Darby beat up Mox more, but I feel Mox turns as he keeps saying he cared about him. I think we are not far from the Death Riders potentially turning on Mox, because this is Mox's third major defeat this year, having lost the AEW World Championship to Hangman at All In, lost a rematch to Hangman a few weeks later on Dynamite, and now he's lost to Darby. It's very possible we're going to see a loss of confidence in the Death Riders leader. Where that sends that group, no idea. Where that sends Moxley, no idea. But I got that sneaking feeling we're going to see some changes soon in that group. Probably for the better. Mr. Penguin, it's Sting. It's hard not to have fun doing that. Tony Schiavone totally gets it. Tyler, what up, Tyler? Tyler saying this match type is like a GCW type match. Yeah, it is definitely in that death match purview. It's definitely in that death match realm that Moxley likes to have fun in, that Darby likes to have fun in. And like I said before, it's not for everybody. I enjoyed it, but somebody who doesn't enjoy it, who says that it's not wrestling, I won't necessarily agree that it's not wrestling, but it's not everybody's style of wrestling. It's not everybody's preferred wrestling. And I get it. Absolutely get it. What up, Maria? Hey, how you doing this Saturday night / Sunday morning, depending on where you are? Thank you for being here. Maria's saying that this show was amazing. We all agree. I'm glad that that's the general consensus. Sting was an excellent surprise. I completely agree. There's a part of me that's always going to hope that he shows up for Darby's big moments. And there's a part of me that sometimes wishes he's not there because I want to see Darby accomplish things on his own. But in an instance like this, where the odds are so against Darby because he's fighting a mountain of men. It's awesome that the Stinger shows up. And aging gracefully, might I add. Finally going full gray. White hair. Bravo, man. You are rocking it, Stinger. Good for you. Maria saying Darby is not beating Hangman anytime soon. Yeah, I don't think so. But we are getting to a point that we need to put something on Darby. He needs to win a title again. I think he's above the TNT title, which he's won twice. I don't know what's going on with the unified title because that's firmly in the grasp of Okada right now. And the world title feels like it's something that Darby should have at some point soon, but it's a crowded main event scene. The only thing I will say, hold on one second. Tyler saying, I'm feeling like this match ending was bad. I don't think it was bad as much as I thought it was rushed. And I would have liked to see Mox have absorbed a little more damage throughout the match. Darby got some shots in. Darby definitely got some spots in. But this was pretty much all like 80% Mox. So that's what I thought made the ending feel a little off. But still, it was nice to see, considering Darby was 0-5 against Mox, to see him make him tap out felt like a real win, as opposed to, you can't beat me, you can't put me down, I quit because it was crazy stuff that we were doing. No, he made him tap. So I know it sounds like such a silly distinction, but it is there in my point of view. Fernando, what up, Fernando? Fernando saying fire show, trash main event. Look, I'm sorry you feel that way. Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed the show. I'm sorry that you felt that the main event was trash. I thought it did get a lot right, but that finish, that quick ending, definitely not for everybody. So I'll give you that. I'll absolutely give you that. Tyler saying Mercedes Moné. We'll get into that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That was announced on the show, and we'll talk more about that as we get through the rest of it. Maria happy about it, and Tyler saying, yeah, no, I get you that it was, yeah, but yeah, guys. See, Fernando, and I talked about this, I think, a few seconds before you hopped in, like literally maybe just a few seconds before you hopped in. I don't blame anybody for not enjoying that main event because it's a very specific style of wrestling. Somebody like Tyler, who is a fan of GCW, is going to enjoy that match more than somebody who enjoys more technical wrestling or more straightforward wrestling. I think there's a middle ground for sure. And like I said, there were definitely moments in that match that made me uncomfortable. But overall, it was a test of endurance for both men, particularly Darby. And it's the type of match that I think he thrives in. So, we got through it. Everybody's alive, more or less. And I think even if you didn't like the match and you feel that it wasn't wrestling, there were fun moments. Sting returning, the win at the end. Obviously, every time Claudio does that table throw onto Darby, it's insanity. So, yeah, it just depends on what you're into. But, yeah, guys, that was the main event, which was bonkers. And really just bravo to both of those men for just being absolutely insane and somehow being able to exist in society. I'm not going to go over. We're going to start now at the beginning. We're going to rewind all the way back. And you guys know me. I don't typically go over the pre-show. It's not because it's not bad. It's not because it's bad. It's not because it's not worth it. It's just, it's a lot to cover. These shows are already like 4 or 5 hours. So talking about the pre-show is always a little bit rougher, but I have to this time. I have to because of what that last match turned into. Just very briefly, first pre-show match was the Death Riders defeating the Conglomeration and Roderick Strong. Very important distinction. The second match saw Eddie Kingston and Hook defeating the Frat House. Cole Carter and Griff Garrison in that instance. The third match saw Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale defeat the Top Gods, Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. And then we get to this last match, which was FTR taking on Jet Speed. Now, what was fascinating about this match, and I think it's a first, is that FTR and Jet Speed started this match in the pre-show, but it carried over into the main show. I don't think I've ever seen an instance of a pre-show pay-per-view match going so long that they have to take it into the main show. I thought that was nuts. I thought that was crazy. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think it's kind of a mixed message. I understand the logic behind it. You're trying to get that small percentage of people who might only be watching the pre-show to, you know what, we're going to convince you to buy that pay-per-view. Interesting. Let's see if it works. And you're also trying to appeal to the people who only watch the pay-per-view, saying you should watch the pre-show. You'll never know what might happen. All in all, very happy for FTR, very happy for Jet Speed, because both of those teams are so quality that they don't deserve to be neglected to the pre-show. Quite frankly, I don't think there was any talent on the pre-show that deserves to only be on the pre-show. But the match continued, eventually getting a win after a very back and forth match, by the way. I'm shocked this match only had 13 minutes because it felt so much longer. It felt like they packed so much in. But FTR stealing a win as Big Stoke, holds Speedball Mike Bailey's feet down as FTR, I think Bald, pinned him. 1, 2, 3, stealing the win and probably helping propel FTR further closer to those tag titles once again. We'll see. But very interesting way to start the show. Going to the comments really quickly. Maria, I did my best, Maria. Dragoon, what up, Dragoon? Loving the James Gisanti show. Hey, look, I do get it. It is nuts that I'm here. It's 1:30 a.m. I can't blame anyone else for not being here. Maybe I shouldn't be here, but I am surrounded by some amazing people. You guys have been great in the comments. So if you're here, I'm here, and we're going to have some fun with it. It's the morning. Who sleeps in the morning? Crazy people. But we're going to go to the first official match of WrestleDream. Jamie Hayter versus Tekla. Damn. Sorry, Ron Simmons. I know that's your bit, but damn. These women beat into each other. Yowie. Wowie. This was a brutal, stiff match. Well, you know what? I'll give you guys a spoiler. Jamie Hayter defeated Tekla in a fun match. 15 minutes of just pure strong style. Just absolute striking madness between these two women. Maria saying this was a great match. I agree. Great official start. And Dragoon saying there is a God. Look, Jamie is killing it. She's finally, in my opinion, she's finally finding her footing again after being gone from with injury, and I think it took her a while, unfortunately. Not her fault, but I think it took her a while, but we're here and she's killing it. And these two women, wowza. At one point or another, I wasn't sure if I loved the match or I was like afraid to watch the match because they were just beating the crap out of each other. But I persevered and it was worth it because, wow, that was a great matchup. The finish coming with Hayter hitting the Haterade, getting the 1-2-3, and beating Tekla. Now, after the match, Queen Aminata comes out and celebrates with Hayter while Tekla's Triangle of Madness teammates, Julia Hart and Sky Blue, were up at the ramp. I think it's very clear we are building towards this women's blood and guts match. And we've got 3 on one side, 2 on another. Let's see how the teams continue to pad out, but it's exciting. These women have been begging for it. I know for a fact Sky Blue has been asking for a long time to have this match or to be a part of this match and for the women to have this opportunity. So it's going to be something. It's going to be something special when it finally happens. And we're seeing the team start to form. So this definitely felt like a precursor to something bigger and grander, but great matchup, great way to start the show. And Jamie Hayter getting a big win and Tekla just looking cool. It felt like no matter what Hayter hit her with, Tekla was just absorbing it and laughing it off. At a certain point, it was just too much, but that's how you build up a character. I'm finally really starting to warm up to Tekla, and I've always been a Hayter fan. So just excellent work from these two ladies. Moving on, we are going to go to what initially I was calling the match of the night, as we had the $500,000 tag team match where the Young Bucks took on Jurassic Express. Now, I loved everything about this matchup. Guys. First of all, the Bucks entrance where they calculated their expenses and how they're in debt after everything that they needed to pay for to be even ready for the matchup. Hilarious. To even on a much simpler level, seeing Jack Perry and Luchasaurus just getting cheered for, like unabashedly cheered for. It feels like we're finally through the forest. It feels like we're finally through the storm that we weathered for Jack Perry to get people to care again. And you might argue that Jurassic Express feels like a step back or somewhat regressive, but you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This team was beloved during the initial AEW run, the early days of AEW, and arguably it's split, their split, kind of premature maybe. And now that we're seeing them partner up again, but they're doing it, and they're not turning into those old characters that they used to be. Luchasaurus is absolutely feral, and Jack Perry is not Jungle Boy. It's fun to see. And more importantly than all of that, this match was fucking amazing. I know, not everybody cares. Not everybody likes them. But you know what? The Young Bucks are, without a doubt, the best tag team of the last 10, 15 years. They just are. Sometimes we forget because they do the comedy matches or they wrestle the heel style, or quite frankly, sometimes their characters are so annoying that they overshadow their wrestling. But by God, when they're putting on a good match, it is hard to ignore. It is hard to pretend that they're not two of the most influential tag team wrestlers who have ever laced up a pair of boots. And let's just say it. Jack Perry and Luchasaurus more than kept up. These 4 men put on a tag team clinic with false finishes, believable false finishes, death-defying moves, absolutely spectacular wrestling between these 4 guys. Let's take a second. I'll go to the comments real quick. Just going back real quick. Jamie Hayter got her groove back. Hell yeah, girl. Hell yeah, she did. Maria saying she's looking forward to Blood and Guts. I agree. Cannot wait. I I agree with you here. This $500,000 tag team match was initially my match of the night. I agree. Brodito and Okada and Takeshita became match of the night. Dragoon saying sometimes you move backwards to go forward. I agree. Sometimes you got to revisit the things that worked from your past and figure out a way to make them work for your future. Very well done. Tyler saying this show is so depressing and overwhelming, and I give lots of credit to this crowd because they were so tired. This was a marathon. I agree with you, Tyler. This crowd, they gave it their all. They gave it their all. So yeah, gotta hand it to them. Best tag team of the last few years. Yeah, I'll say it. I will absolutely say it. Over the last 10 to 15 years, I'd say the Bucks have done more for tag team wrestling than pretty much any other tag team. Obviously, there are standouts. There are greats like the Usos, the New Day, FTR. They're obviously, all of those teams are incredible. But the Bucks have made a point. Okay, Dragoon just talking shit. The Bar is the greatest tag team that nobody talks about anymore. The New Day and the Usos, obviously, like I said, before I even read your comment, incredible tag teams that are just as influential to tag team wrestling. But the Bucks helped make it a point to make tag team wrestling a main event staple in AEW. So that's all I'm going to say. And they're the only tag team that's actually worth watching right now. Because New Day ain't it. And the Usos, they're back with Roman, and who cares? I'm tired. I'm tired, boss. I don't even want to be here anymore. No, they don't. They don't. Because they were, like, as amazing as the Bar was, they were thrown together. But anyway. Fernando, I completely agree with you. Jack Perry did put on an excellent performance tonight. This is the guy that I can see eventually getting back towards a main event scene. This is the guy that was putting on banger after banger in his initial Jungle Boy days before everything changed. Now, it's interesting, too, because for the last 2 years, Jungle Boy has essentially been wrestling a very heel style, arguably a very boring style of wrestling. A very, let's not say boring, but a very forgettable style of wrestling. The type of wrestling that is more geared towards getting the crowd to boo than getting the crowd excited. And to see him just light it up in this matchup, to see him absolutely go wild in this matchup and remind people who might not have forgotten how good he is, excellent. Beautiful to see the tag team synergy between all four men. And again, we talked about it with Darby and Moxley, who Darby's been had never gotten a win over Mox before. Same thing here. Jurassic Express has never beaten the Young Bucks before. In fact, the Jurassic Express's only tag team title run in AEW, the Bucks took the titles off them. So I agree. That was a nice stage. It was. I agree with you there, Tyler. So finally, we see it. After multiple attempts, after multiple big moves, after multiple instances, I was like, oh, that's it. Jurassic Express pins, wins, beats the Young Bucks. Absolutely baller tag team match. They finished with their flipping powerbomb tag team maneuver. I'm sorry, the name is escaping me at the second, but wow, just incredible work here from both teams. The Bucks looking like the Bucks of old. Jurassic Express not looking like this is only their second tag team match in 3 years. So just bravo from all four of these men. After the match, they claim their money. The Bucks just look absolutely dejected in the ring. And Jack Perry tries extending the olive branch. He tries picking both Bucks up, extending his hand, trying to maybe make peace when they are attacked from behind by the Don Callis family. Now, I have to explain which members of the Don Callis family, because, of course, there are so many at this point. It was Josh Alexander, Hechiseto, and Lance Archer. as they're taking out Jurassic Express, they express displeasure with the Bucks for not helping them, for not jumping in on the beatdown. The Bucks leave the ring and they are met by an angry and a ready for a fight Kenny Omega. Kenny confronts the Bucks and says, "Why aren't you doing anything? Why aren't we helping them?" The Bucks don't know what to do. Kenny does. He runs in the ring, makes the save, and Kenny and Jurassic Express are able to dispel the Don Callis family. Let's see where this moves up as we continue on Dynamite this upcoming week. I was personally disappointed that Kenny didn't have a match at this show. Rumor was it was supposed to be him and Coda taking on some form of the Don Callis family. I believe it was Alexander and Hechiseto. Obviously, Coda's injury impacted all of that, but we'll see how things move forward. Either way, lots of stories are moving forward. Lots of stories are progressing. The Bucks and Kenny, the Bucks and Perry, the Don Callis family. A lot accomplished by the ending of this matchup and the post-match. So I personally enjoyed it a lot. And like I said, at one point or another, this was my match of the night until we got a little further along. Maria saying the Elite is getting back together. I think it's just a matter of weeks at this point. I think it was Matt Jackson just did an interview where he said that he thinks it would be a waste, it would be silly if at some point before everybody hung it up, meaning he and his brother or Kenny or Hangman or whoever, that the Elite don't get back together and have a good run in AEW. He did say it's all Elite wrestling for a reason. So let's see how that goes. Very excited at that notion. Tyler saying, I bet you guys think that was Jag's football budget. No, the Khan family is very aware of how they allocate their money, but that was good, Tyler. That was really good. Maria saying Kenny Omega should be on every pay-per-view if he's healthy. I agree. I do think there is something to not necessarily throwing him in a match just to say he wrestled. With Kenny's health, Kenny's age, we do have to be smart with how he wrestles, but if there are opportunities to make it work, let's make it work. So I agree with you there, Maria. Moving on to the next matchup. We had, all right, quite possibly. No, I take it back. This match was freaking awesome too. That's my bad, guys. I'm sorry that I even hesitated for a second. A number one contenders tornado trios match. The Hurt Syndicate taking on the Demand. Now, guys, that was a mouthful, so I apologize. But this was a tornado trios match where the winner would take on the AEW trios champions for the titles. What turns out to be this upcoming week on Dynamite. I had made it very clear when we spoke about this matchup on our Dynamite review that I don't know why it existed. We've seen these teams go back and forth, trading wins, trading losses, all that stuff. And to just do it again felt so silly. 2 weeks ago, that no DQ match, that street fight, felt like the culmination. It felt like the perfect cap to this feud. Obviously, that wasn't the case. They wrestled again on Dynamite in a regular 2-on-2 tag team match, and now they ran it again here in this trios match. Now, let me also say, this match was great, or at the very least, was very good. Very good. And I do think that Maria's somewhat right. This match was kind of overkill, but when you have Shelton Benjamin, that was for you, Rev. When you decide to watch this, let me know when you get to this comment. Showing up the way he did. Jesus Christ. You're 50, bro. Shelton, you're 50. I hate you. I hate you. You're too cool. Stop it. We can't keep up, bro. You know I'm a Bobby Mark. You know I'm a Shelton Mark. You know I love MVP. But my God, Shelton showed up and showed out for this matchup, doing things that were just absolutely nuts. Go check it out. I can't do him justice, guys. He was doing shit that nobody at age 50 should be able to do. Flipping, jumping, tossing, all that jazz. My God, he was the MVP. Sorry, Montel. He was the MVP of the matchup. The finish coming as the Syndicate have Ricochet isolated in the ring, and Bishop Khan pulls him out and takes his place in the ring, takes his place for what becomes the beatdown. I thought it was a little silly. I on one hand, it does make Bishop Khan look like a badass. He really had more balls than brains there. He was like, not my boy Ricochet. I got this. And then he got put down. All three members of the Hurt Syndicate just absolutely throttle him. Ending, I think, with the spear and the 1, 2, 3 as the Hurt Syndicate pick up the win and become the number one contenders for the AEW Trios title. Fun matchup. Like I said, Shelton looked like an absolute stud. And now, though, we're kind of in an interesting place because the Hurt Syndicate are going to be taking on the Trios champions, the Ops, this Wednesday. It really, really, really feels like the Demand should be going for these Trios titles and winning them. Now, maybe because I think technically when you tally up all the wins and losses between the teams, I think they're tied now. So maybe there will be an argument that if the Hurt Syndicate do win the Trios titles, the Demand have a real claim to challenge for the titles. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm really looking forward to what's going on in the Trios division because it feels like they remembered they have a Trios division. So either way, this has been a nice feud, even if I don't necessarily agree with all of the booking. Move into the comments real quick. Dragoon's nonsense, which I have to acknowledge. Minoru Suzuki should be on every pay-per-view if he's alive. He's not even just saying AEW. He's saying everything. Dragoon saying Suzuki should be on AEW pay-per-views, New Japan pay-per-views, Ring of Honor pay-per-views, WWE pay-per-views, TNA pay-per-views, GCW, MLW. If they've got letters, he should be wrestling, is what Dragoon is saying. Dragoon assuming that the Hurt Syndicate won. You're right. If things work the way they're supposed to. Yes and no. As I highlighted, as I explained, there were kind of a few reasons that the Demand should have won. But I ain't crying that my team won this matchup. Tyler saying Minoru Suzuki's in MLW. I think probably MLW let him go to a match in AEW. We'll see. I mean, MLW is going to play ball with AEW way faster than they'll play ball with WWE right now. So we'll see. We'll see. I actually got to see Suzuki at MLW a few months back. Oh, God, it might have almost been a year ago. Time is a concept, people. Kirk. Hey, Kirk, welcome. Kirk saying he knew Sting would finally show up to help Darby since Mox needs 6-on-1. I agree. One Sting equals one entire faction. Doesn't matter the company. Doesn't matter if it's TNA with the Aces and Eights. Doesn't matter if it's WCW with the NWO. And it doesn't matter if it's AEW with the Death Riders. Sting equals faction. Love it. And welcome, Kirk. Thank you for being here. Tyler saying his dream match is Suzuki versus Bobby. Wowza. Interesting. Maybe for me, that would have been like 10 years ago for sure. But if they can make it work, why not? Maria saying the Demand should have won. Look, I get this is actually very clearly from these comments divisive, but just be patient, I think. I think the Demand are still going to get those titles sooner than later. Fernando also saying the wrong trio won. It's great. Guys, I'm loving how much love there is for the Demand right now. Ricochet, GOA, they have proven their value. And I think, as we like to say here on the pod, the cream rises to the top. Give it some time. They will get those titles. They will. Just give it some time. Dragoon agreeing with Tyler's dream match, or respecting, I should say, Tyler's dream match. Fernando saying no more Hurt Syndicate versus the Demand. Let's just get through Wednesday, guys. Let's just get through Wednesday. Let's see who comes out with these trios titles. A lot of stuff happened by the end of this show that is very heavily going to impact where we move for Wednesday. Tyler saying he wants an MLW and ROH pay-per-view together. I personally wouldn't be opposed to that. I think both companies would get the rub. There are some very promising talents in MLW that would definitely benefit from appearing on a grander stage. Ring of Honor could definitely use some padding too. And I think there would be some fun crossover matches. So, Tyler, write your congressman, or at the very least, write Tony Khan. Send him a tweet or a blue sky, whatever they call it. Do it. Even check threads. I don't know if he's on there, but why not? Kirk Frazier saying that he liked that spoiler won against spoiler. We'll talk about it. I am very happy as well. Very happy. Get Snap saying worst AEW. And I don't know what that emoji is. Tell me what that emoji is. That's nuts. How'd you put that on there? I'm old. I'm really old. I'm sorry you feel that way, Jet. I think there have been some great matchups. There were some great matchups on this show. I think there was absolutely some baller wrestling, some really memorable matches, some stuff that arguably, like, we're arguing over what was match of the night. When that happens, that means there was some good stuff. So I'm sorry you didn't enjoy it. Hopefully talking about it, maybe we could change your mind a little bit. And if we can't, rally. Do it, man. Tell us what you didn't like about it. Rage against the machine. We're all marks here. Let us know. Dragoon saying, unless it's DX for Sting equaling a faction. No faction can overcome Triple H's ego. Just not possible. Aaron, I don't even know where you're landing anymore. You are in the group chat earlier, were saying it's going to be Mercedes versus Tony, this and this and this. Buddy, pick a lane. Tyler saying, hey guys, I'm starting my own Discord server for pro wrestling soon. Wow, Tyler, promoting your stuff on our channel. That's rough, dude. That hurts. That hurts my heart. But that said, we have been talking about doing a Discord here at the here for Market Down for a while. So let's talk. Maybe we have you come over and do our Discord. We got friends, a lot of people here. Let us know. A good man who tries his best. Anywho, moving on, after this matchup, we had another one. Easily could have been a match of the night contender. As the AEW TNT Championship was on the line, Kyle Fletcher, the champion, defending against Mark Briscoe. I don't want to hear it from you, old man. I don't want to hear it. What up, Kratos? We'll acknowledge this comment before we move on. Kratos 316 says, seriously, Mox gave up that easily. Seriously? And I tell you, if Triple H had done that ending in WWE, people would be crucifying. WrestleDream's ending was garbage. Look, I don't disagree. I wasn't thrilled with the ending. What I will say is what I said earlier in the night before you got here. By the way, welcome, Kratos. Thank you for being here. I Quit matches are a hard match to pull off satisfyingly in the end. They always have this nuts, crazy, what the hell type of stuff that I just see components. You have these epic moments. You have these unbelievable, like, I'm covering my eyes spots. And then by the time you get to the finish, after they've endured everything that they endured during the matchup, you're like, that's it? That's what makes this guy quit? This match was no different as far as I'm concerned. I agree it was very quick. I agree it came, I don't want to say out of nowhere, but there just wasn't enough beatdown or build up for Mox to eventually just quit. But overall, I enjoyed the matchup, even though it made me want to pluck out my eyes at certain points. And more than anything, I'm just happy for Darby. And the only other thing I will say, if WWE did book this, I would have the same feelings that I had. I wasn't thrilled with the main event because I don't think you can be with an I Quit match, but I'm going to commend the guys for doing what they did to each other. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it was a 5-star classic. It wasn't. He drowned a guy in a fish tank. He was drowning him. But for all the people who love and appreciate WWE, they were also the same people who loved ECW back in the day. And they straight up crucified guys on that show. So we can't pick and choose with these things. You're either in it or you're not. So I agree. This matchup, that main event, not for everyone. Not for everyone. And you're not wrong for not liking it. You're not. But not liking it and it not being your style doesn't mean it was bad. It just means it wasn't for you. Except for the ending. The ending might have just actually been bad. But the rest of the match was good. Anyway. Let's just deal with some of the other comments. No, thank you, Kratos. Again, thank you for being here. Whether or not we agree, I'm just happy to be talking to you. So thank you for being here. Dragoon saying Triple H did do that. He had a monster of a champion, Gunther, tap out in a sleeper hold by Jey Uso in 5 seconds. Oof. I know you're still hurting from that, buddy. We got to move past it. We got to move past it. They are both guilty of it. Kratos saying Darby should have tried to burn Moxley to make him give up. That's what happened in All Out. They should have played with that. I agree. And admittedly, he did try. He was spraying him with that like chemical that was very clear. He was trying to set him up to get lit on fire, but that's what brought out all the Death Riders. And eventually those numbers just became too much for Darby to do it. And after being almost drowned, I think Darby was trying to make up just really quickly and get out of there. So unlike Freddy versus Jason, this is not fire versus water. But Kratos saying he was referring to the end. Yeah, I agree. The ending was rough. They very clearly needed to be off pay-per-view, be done with TV, get off the screen by 12:30, and they were just rushing it. It's unfortunate. It absolutely is. But I don't think a bad finish should negate an entire matchup. At least that's how I feel. Kirk saying, yeah, Carlos and people, that should have been an Inferno match. An Inferno match would have been nuts. But I also think that type of gimmick match can also be very limiting. I don't know why I'm speaking the way I'm tired, guys. I think an Inferno match can be kind of limiting. So I don't know. I think this fits in both of their wheelhouses, Darby and Mox, for better or for worse. And I'm just gonna skip over Dragoon there, but I'm gonna let you guys read it. But back to this match, this actually incredible matchup between the TNT champion Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe. Guys, this was match number 5. Mark has 2, Fletcher has 2. The difference is this match is for the TNT championship. Guys, I don't know how to say it any more than I've said it these last few months, if not longer. Fletcher is the future. This guy is so incredible. He does the wrestling real good. He does real good with the wrestling. Just an absolute stud, an absolutely incredible athlete. These guys gave it their all. Mark, Kyle, just wow. I don't even really know how to cover this matchup because of how good it was. I'll try to work my way through the finish. Mark, after having hit a top rope froggy bow. So, no, I'm not saying he jumped off the top rope, which he did. But he had Kyle Fletcher hanging off the top rope, balanced on the top rope. Briscoe hits a froggy bow elbow, drops him to the apron. Nuts. He hits a J Driller that Kyle only gets out of. He only survives that pin because he was able to get one finger onto the rope. Eventually, Fletcher has the referee distracted. Mark almost hits him, stops himself. He uses that distraction, Fletcher does, to low blow Mark and hit a brain buster. 1, 2, not 3. Kyle Fletcher selling his disbelief like an Oscar-winning actor. Unbelievable. Nobody could believe it. Don Callis got off the commentary table. The crowd couldn't believe it. Commentary couldn't believe it. Most importantly, Kyle Fletcher couldn't believe it. Incredible moment that not only sells how devastating his brainbuster has been, but how overconfident he's become. I love it. Just beautifully done between these two guys. The action continues for a little bit longer. Mark and Fletcher doing their best to try and survive one another. Eventually, though, Mark succumbing to a top rope brainbuster. Brainbuster right onto that top turnbuckle. 1, 2, 3. Kyle Fletcher's TNT title run continues. Bravo to both of these guys. This was just absolutely incredible wrestling. If you didn't like the main event, this is the type of match you will like. Hands down. Brilliant, excellent wrestling. Moving on, we then go to another excellent matchup. Jesus, guys, this is how professional I am here. I'm very familiar with her, obviously, so it's like we're not even on a last name basis. But for your guys' sake, the AEW Women's World Championship was on the line as new champion Chris Statlander defended against the former women's champion Toni Storm, the woman she'd won the title from in a fatal 4-way at the last pay-per-view. Guys, this match was really great. I've loved the feud between these two women as they both have something to prove. Toni trying to decide what type of person she is, who she is, what she is without the AEW Women's Championship, and Chris Statlander needing to prove to the world that it wasn't a fluke that she won that fatal 4-way. She can and will beat Toni Storm in this one-on-one matchup. Excellent work here. These women just absolutely went after one another. Stat with something to prove, where she was adamant she wanted to make Toni tap out. At some points, it looked like Toni was either going to pass out or on the verge of tapping. Ultimately, though, the finish coming with Stat pinning Toni 1, 2, 3 after multiple attempts at trying to make her tap out. This was a great matchup. Guys, I know I'm not doing my best in explaining the matchup. I am a little tired. I am sorry. But these two women absolutely brought it. We knew they would. We're all Stat fans here. We're all Toni fans here for the most part. I am. But I know some of you might not be, but I'm not going to talk about you. And they just killed it. They absolutely killed it. Stat, as Maria says, is finally having the run we've been waiting for. And she deserves it. We've known how good she is for years, and she's finally being allowed to showcase that with a belt around her waist, and good for her. After the matchup, things heat up a little bit. Timeless Toni Storm has the belt in her hands, and she proudly puts it on Stat's shoulder before allowing Stat to have the ring to herself. Only briefly, though, as she is interrupted. Her championship celebration is interrupted by the TBS champion, Mercedes Moné, the CEO. She is flanked by the frat house guys, all wearing her belt and bringing her belt out for her. I'm just happy they made it onto the main card. Good for you, Griff Garrison. Good for you, kid. Mercedes had made it clear that this open challenge that she was having for the AEW TBS championship was going to be champion versus champion. And this brings out the ROH interim women's television champion, Mina Shirakawa. This becomes a winner takes all match. You heard that right. Mercedes not just putting her TBS belt on the line, but Mina also putting up the interim ROH women's television title. That is a mouthful, and I'm sorry. Yikes. The match was fun. We've seen them wrestle before. We know they have chemistry. Mercedes clearly has chemistry with any Joshi, but my God, does she have it with Mina? These women having some real fun in this matchup. Back and forth, dancing, silliness, but also just absolutely good wrestling. There was a moment or two, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. Now that Mercedes has beaten Jade Cargill's record for the longest TBS championship reign, there was a moment during this match that I thought Mina might have had her. Alas, that wasn't to be the case. Mercedes getting a quick surprise win. Quick win out of nowhere over Mina. 1, 2, 3 gets the win, and now a new championship is added to Mercedes' resume, her lineup, her trophy case, whatever the hell. Now, I will say this is interesting. This is fun. This is fun that they're doing this because this is the interim championship. The actual champion is, I believe, Red Velvet. Mina was crowned the interim champion. So technically, Mina was never champion. And technically, Mercedes didn't add another championship to her ensemble. She has another belt. She has another belt, but very similar that she's still carrying the Owen belt around. It's not actually a championship. So I wonder if this is going to come into play at any point. I'm very intrigued with how that's going to go because it could be the first peg to fall. Could be the first brick to break. And I don't know. I'm thinking about this as we're talking. Maria, I'm not going to take this from you. I'm very happy for you. The CEO is 11 belts Monet. I promise. I am so happy for you. I am happy for all of you Monetiacs. I don't know if I love that or if I hate that. Monetiacs. If that gets put on a t-shirt, I deserve at least a quarter. You guys heard it here first, okay? Monetiacs. Oh my God, I gotta write that down. But 11 belts Monet, congratulations. I'm just gonna go over it quickly because I didn't really get a chance to, I didn't put a little banner for it, and it happens throughout other stuff on the show. But after the loss, we go backstage and we see Toni Storm, somewhat catatonic, being interviewed by Renee Paquette. She is sitting against some crates. Renee mentions how she wasn't the better woman tonight, but what does this mean for the future of Timeless Toni Storm? She just keeps muttering that she's lost everything. And this brings out Mina Shirakawa, who is just as dejected. Toni once again says, "We've lost everything." And Mina corrects her, saying, "Not everything. We still have each other." The two women then embrace. I got teary-eyed, and it was a beautiful moment. I think it's very apt. I think it's very timely that these women are both out of their individual title scenes, as we're about to have announced on Wednesday the bracket for the inaugural AEW Women's Tag Team Champions. But whatever. Regardless, I did skip out on one part. I apologize, guys. This one's on me. Ooh, Kirk, not a fan of the CEO. You and one of our regulars here, one of our favorites here at the pod, Maria, might have some beef amongst each other. But hey, all opinions are welcome as long as we're all respectful about it. But after the match, oh God, guys, I totally flubbed. Did I? Oh no, I didn't. I mentioned how Mercedes interrupted Stat's title celebration. Before her match with Mina even happened, Stat's still in the ring, bewildered at the interruption, and Mercedes congratulates her, but then tells her to get the hell out of her ring. Stat does leave, but she comes back after Mercedes matchup, interrupts Mercedes celebration, tit for tat, and both women begin to brawl. This leads to what happens later in the show as Mercedes challenges Stat for the AEW Women's World Championship at Full Gear next month. I'm scared. This is the second time Mercedes is going for the Women's Championship whilst also being the TBS champion. I'm scared. Let's see. I'm sure Maria's happy. I'm sure Maria's excited. Tyler saying, calling it now, your future AEW Women's Tag Team Champions, Timeless Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa. Let's see. I don't know if it's a lock. I think they're going to make it past the first round, but I don't know that it's a lock. There are a lot of teams that are, quite frankly, I love you, Tony. I love you, Mina. More deserving of those tag titles. But we'll get there. Maria saying, we are taking all the belts. Hey, I'm rooting for you, Maria. I love Mercedes. I'm probably the biggest Mercedes mark on the pod, but I'm rooting for you very much. Maria saying Chris is going to pay for what she did. Hey, like I said, tit for tat. She got interrupted first by Mercedes. That's all I'm saying. Moving forward, we then go to Maria. You called it. I'm agreeing with you. I'm backing you up on this one. The match of the night, as the AEW World Tag Team Championships were on the line, as Brodito, the reigning champions, defend against the AEW Unified Champion, Kazuchika Okada, and the new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Konosuke Takeshita. First of all, we've said it. This is the first time we're actually really seeing him in person since winning the title in New Japan. Congratulations to Takeshita. Long may he reign. Guys, come here. I think these guys are pretty good. I think they're pretty goddamn good. Wow. Did this slap? Literally at some points. Maria saying this match was amazing. It was. Ooh, Maria saying best tag team match of the year. I'm going to have to do some digging on that one. I'm going to have to look at the year. It's been a long year, and it's been a good year for wrestling. So we'll have to look. Breaking news for the WPW Women's Championship match. Jody Threat versus Mercedes. Yeah, that's tomorrow, right? Yeah, we've known about that. Mercedes was always going to have a 3-day weekend. She wrestled Persephone yesterday at CMLL. Mina today. Tomorrow is Jody Threat. I think she'll have that match tomorrow. Yep. And Brodito should be Bandito? I'll be honest with you, he's making a hell of an argument for it. Hell of an argument. But going back to the match itself, guys, I don't know where to begin. This match was fucking incredible. Sorry for the cursing. Wow, it was good. Like, at multiple points, Okada or Takeshita was trying to isolate Bandito, who is still operating with just the one wing, the one shoulder, still out of commission. Bandito, Brody, often being pushed to the outside, kept separate. But my God, did he have that fighting spirit and come in and save Bandito as many times as he could, saving the matchup as many times as he could, and giving us one of the moments of the night as he finally succumbed to his tag team partner's requests, and he tried doing the Macarena with him before being interrupted by that bastard Okada. And it wasn't all sunshine and roses, because on the other side of the tracks, Okada and Takeshita were very clearly having trouble coexisting. At one point or another, Okada really trying to get ruffle the feathers, get under the skin of Takeshita, flipping him off, giving him, sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to do that on here, actually. Flipping him off, giving him the middle finger. Eventually, it culminating with, as they're trying to put Bandito down, Okada goes for the Rainmaker, but Bandito's able to duck it, and he accidentally hits Takeshita instead, sending Takeshita rolling to the outside. This was after, I should apologize, guys, it's late, I'm tired. Bandito had tried hitting the 21 plex onto I'm not sure if it was Okada or Takeshita, but because of his bad shoulder, he wasn't able to lock it in. After that Rainmaker, Brody comes in, saves Bandito, tells him to never stop fighting, jumps out, suicide dives Takeshita, and helps Bandito set up for one more 21 plex, hitting Okada with it with only one arm. Guys, it was insane. It was so cool. 1, 2, 3. Bandito is now one of 3 men to beat Okada in AEW. The other 2, Bryan Danielson and Kyle Fletcher. The Fletcher one's a little bit of a surprise, but that's fucking cool too. But great company to be keeping, our Ring of Honor champion. Going to the comments real quick. Tyler saying, imagine if she's won that title. Tyler saying he loves this match. I agree with you, man. And I think you were talking about Jody Threat, which would be nuts, by the way. Christopher, what up, Christopher? Thank you for joining us. Is that the crow in your header? I really like that. Don't forget about the Freebirds and the Legion of Doom. Great tag teams. Absolutely great tag teams. Way before what I was talking about when it came to the Bucks. I don't know that I have it in me to say the Bucks are the greatest tag team of all time because I don't feel that way. But definitely of the last 10 to 15 years, they're up there in the conversation. But absolutely, the Legion of Doom, the Freebirds, legends in their own right. Absolutely in the conversation for important, influential, greatest tag teams of all time. So welcome to the party, Christopher. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed the show tonight, and I hope you're enjoying being with us here. But guys, this matchup, I feel like I needed a cigarette afterwards. I was exhausted in the best way. I hate how invested I am in Brodito. This team that was thrown together for that tag team tournament, winning the AEW tag team championships and having incredible match after incredible matchup. Guys, I am so in. Buddy Matthews, who? I don't mean that. I love you, buddy. But wowza. Oh, just good stuff. Kirk Frazier, I love you already. You're new to me, but I agree. The Hardys are my favorite tag team of all time. I won't be selfish enough to say they're the greatest of all time, but they are my favorite tag team of all time. I'm with you. By the way, guys, I'd be remiss. I know I usually save this for the end, but I got a lot of new people here. A lot of fun conversation amongst people that's normally not part of the crew. If you're new here and you want to continue having these conversations with us, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We go live for everything. AEW, WWE, TNA, ROH, New Japan. The big stuff for everything we cover. So if you're having fun with us, which I hope you are because I'm having fun with you, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, be part of the crew, be a mark with us. But yeah, guys, if there is one match to check out from tonight, this is it. Brodito versus the Don Callis family was just next level amazing. Okada, Takeshita, studs. Brodito, the little tag team that could. I'm loving them. The celebration at the end as Bandito's, I guess that's Bandito's kid, jumped into the ring and celebrated with them. That was beautiful. Oh, I am all in on this tag team, and I don't want the run to end. When it does, it's going to sting. Not it's sting, but it's going to sting. But, guys, just wow. I know I'm at a loss for words. I sound boring, but I mean it. Go check it out. And finally, the last match of our night that we're going to cover, as we've already covered the main event, the AEW World Championship on the line as Hangman Adam Page defends against 1/3 of the Trios champions, op leader Samoa Joe. Guys, yowie. The feud was a little silly. Kind of came out of nowhere. Yet also felt so genuine to the hater, the professional hater that Samoa Joe can be at times. These guys brought it. They had great chemistry. And thinking back to where they came from, Joe was out of Ring of Honor by the time Adam Page ever even sniffed it years and years ago. To see where both of these men's journeys have taken them. Samoa Joe, a multiple former world champion. Hangman Adam Page on his second ever world title run. And killing it, mind you. Just absolutely great to see how these men have progressed over the years. I enjoyed the match. It definitely felt like maybe there was an extra gear they could have hit, and given how everything plays out, we're going to get to it. Hangman didn't necessarily beat Joe. He survived Joe. He had to throw everything he had at him to keep the Samoan down. After multiple attempts at the Coquina Clutch, trying to choke out the world champion and to steal a win, multiple attempts at the Muscle Buster to keep Hangman down. Hangman survives all of them or escapes all of them. It takes a Deadeye and then 3 buckshot lariats to put down Samoa Joe. After the match, the Ops come out to celebrate or to support their leader, their fellow trios champion. Hangman, trying to show Samoa Joe the ultimate respect, shakes his hand. Samoa Joe accepts, shakes his hand back. Samoa Joe then raises Hangman's hand, leading into the betrayal. Huge clothesline from Joe, taking Hangman's head off. This opens the door for the rest of the Ops to join him, turning heel officially as Powerhouse Hobbs and Shibata continue to beat down Hangman. They hold him as Samoa Joe hits Hangman with the championship to the face. Hangman looking livid, raged. This then sets up Joe to hit a massive muscle buster onto the championship, leaving Hangman, our world champion, down and beaten. So now, moving into Wednesday, Hangman is going to want revenge. And we have confirmed we're going to have the Ops versus the Hurt Syndicate for the Trios titles. That title might change hands, guys. Kirk saying Hangman is great. I agree. Absolutely just night and day from his first world title run, and I'm so happy and so proud of him. Eric in the comments saying Hobbs is the new Big Show of face and heel turns. I get it. It's a bummer. But like I said, I was saying this on Wednesday because we kind of predicted a heel turn here when we were covering Dynamite. I'm not booing him. You can't make me boo him. He's too fucking cool. That face that he hits. Sorry, I'm going to keep doing it, but he's just too cool. I ain't booing him. But yeah, he's definitely a flip-flopper. Maria saying Joe is a better heel. I agree. He's so likable that it's almost inevitable he is always going to turn back face because we just want to like him, but he's so good at maintaining the heat that, yeah, he is just better as a heel. Good baby face. Incredible heel. Incredible heel. That look he had on his face after he hit the muscle buster onto Hangman, he just looked like a fucking monster. He looked terrifying in the best way possible. So Maria saying the Elite is getting back together with Hangman. Hey, the Ops might need to add a fourth. It ain't going to be Hook because he's with Eddie Kingston now, but I won't say no. Elite versus Ops, let's do it. Let's go nuts. Joe is in that Cena AJ status that he shouldn't be a heel anymore. He's got Unk status. I get what you're saying, Eric. I don't know. Like, he's more active than they are. AJ, I guess not by his own, like, desire. I think AJ would be more active, it seems, if he had the opportunity. Cena's its own, like, there's just no way. People are just, the nostalgia for Cena will never allow people to boo him the way they used to. But Joe's there every week, so it's a little bit weirder. If he's active and he's so good at it, play into it, I guess. But I get what you're saying. Good night. Thank you so much for being here. Love you. That made the stream for me. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, guys, that was WrestleDream. Pretty awesome show, if you ask me. Between drowning, between excellent matchups, technical matchups, ring-based matchups. Between excellent wrestling, between garbage wrestling that's going to turn some people off but excite other people, between memorable moments and a lot of setup for what's next, I think WrestleDream was a success. I had a great time watching it. I wish I had more of my pod mates with me, but they're going to be watching it. It's just tonight was an off night for some of them, but they're going to watch it and we're going to have fun talking about it. I cannot wait for Rev to see it. But guys, thank you so much for joining. We had so many of our regulars. We had so many new faces, so many new names, so many new commenters. Thank you. I already gave the spiel before, but I'll give it again. If you're one of our regulars and you've been here with us either for a little bit or a long time, thank you. It means so much that you're part of the group. It means so much that we get to have so much fun talking wrestling with you every week. If you're new and you're one of our first-time commenters tonight, thanks again. I had so much fun getting to meet you guys, getting to talk to you guys. Join the party. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Let us know we're doing something right. That way we can keep doing this with you. You guys also know the deal. If you like us, you really like us, don't just talk to us here. Check us out on social media. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, Blue Sky. I think that's all of them. Maybe. I don't know. Check us out. Hit that subscribe button. We're pretty funny all over. Usually. Depends on how much Seinfeld Matt watched that week. But guys, thank you so much for joining me this Saturday, Sunday. I'm exhausted. Eric, thank you. Louisiana. I've been a couple times. Welcome. Thank you so much, Maria. Always a pleasure having you with us. But guys, I'm exhausted. I'm sure you're exhausted. It was a long day, long night of wrestling. I'm James Gisanti. This is the Market Down podcast. And we'll see you Wednesday. We're going to try to do Monday Night Raw. We're going to do Monday Night Raw this week. So we'll check you on Monday. And yeah, we have a lot of fun stuff coming up. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And see you later.